Hi everyone, I thought it would be fun to do a little series with these brooches. This is from Ivy in the Inky Butterfly by Johanna Basford, and we have 7 different designs here from the Pika's house, and they're all supposed to be shiny and bright. And I know that sometimes gemstones and metallics can be quite daunting, even for me. So I thought it would be a fun little series to do, and hopefully we'll give you a few help tips with doing this sort of colouring. So let's just work through them. So today we'll do this one. Let's come in nice and close. As close as we can, I think. Fill the screen. There we go. Okay, I've got my blind shut today, so the paper always looks a bit grey. I'm not really sure why it does. Oh, I'm trying to turn my book. There we go. To line up. I've got some grid lines on my camera. It doesn't always seem to quite work properly. Now I think we'll start. We've got like this sort of framework, and then we've got obviously the big gemstone, and we've got some smaller bits as well. I think if we start with the framework, I'm going to start with the gold. I think it'd be nice to have some gold on the edge, as if there's a metal frame, and then we'll do the gemstone. Now I know gold can be quite daunting. I find it daunting at times, even though I do it a lot. The most difficult bit, this is my starting colour, is the burnt umber, is where do we put the darkest bits of gold. Once I've worked that out, then I'm happy. Now what I'm looking at is, let's look up here for example. We've got a line around the outside, and we've got a bit here as well. So I'm thinking this bit is probably just the base, and then this bit is like on top, like my finger's on top of there. So I'm thinking this base bit might be a bit darker than the bit on the top. So I'm going to use my darkest colour just on the bits that I think are at the bottom. And I'm just going to pop it into some sort of random areas, really, in between here, where I think there might be shadow. Now this is quite a long bit. I'm just going to put a bit there. It's a little bit random, and you have to just sort of hope that it's going to work. I've just realised I haven't got a piece of paper behind my page. Hold on a minute. I've got one on the windowsill, baking in the sunshine. It's really hot today. I've just been out early. There we go. I don't like not having a piece of paper behind on a double-sided book. Where do we get to? We're down here. Now this bit here you could leave as a gap, or you could fill it in. I think I'm going to fill it in. I'm just going to put a little bit in each corner, maybe. Oop, like that. A bit on the end of there. That bit's a higher bit. That little bit in there. Now here. There. This bit even lower than that. We could leave, again, that could be a blank bit, but I'm going to fill it in. I'm going to do a bit in each corner. You can be a little bit rough and ready. It takes a bit of confidence though. A bit there. And there. And we'll just go in there. And you just have to hope it's going to work. Okay. Just checking. I think I'm happy with that. And I'm going to use my next colour. I'm only going to use 4, probably. I may need a few more actually. But my next colour is going to be a light warm brown, I think. I rather like using the brown ochre. I don't know how easy it is to see. Now the first thing I'm going to do is extend the areas I've coloured already. So I'm just going to start here, go over what I've done and fade that like that. So I'm just extending these a bit, going over everything. If you go over it and then it looks too pale, you can always go back over it again with your darker one. This is quite a lot lighter than what we've done. So if it doesn't quite look right, you can, as I say, use a bit more of the darker colour. Yeah, we went out nice and early. The boys are cooking a chicken curry tonight for themselves. I don't eat chicken or garlic or chilli or half the ingredients they're using, yogurt. So so I'm not having any, but I got some. I'm going to just make a veggie tray bake, and I'm going to use half for at the weekend and half for today. Now, next I'm going to stick with this pencil and do a little bit more for our next layer up. I think we've got 3 layers. We've got this layer as well that's around the edge of our gemstone. That for me I'm going to do is a gemstone and those 2. But here, look, we've got this bit here, although that's our lowest layer. And we've got that bit on top. Maybe we needed a bit more dark here because this is our lowest layer and it goes all the way around there. So I've messed up a little bit. Well, not messed up, just missed a bit out. So I'm just going to go back to my burnt umber. Just put a bit here. And probably not, see, that's even lower than that. So not too dark there. Right, back to my brown ochre, sorry, back and forth a bit, but only just that bit. So spread that down, spread this one round. If you saw my neighbour jogging, I felt a bit jealous. As much as I used to run, and I'm going to put a bit here, and it wasn't massively pleasurable, to be honest, but I used to get a great sense of achievement when I'd finished, and it was a really easy way to lose weight. I used to always lose a pound if I ran on a day. I would usually run about 4 or 5k, something like that. Not fast, but yeah. Okay, next colour. We're going to go to the green gold. It's not a big jump like the other 2 were, but it's a nice gold colour. Just sharpening it. I'm going to sneeze, hang on. Right, yes, so I used to run, but I injured my Achilles tendon twice, and the doc just told me I shouldn't run because I couldn't cope with it. But I thought, well, I could probably do some walking, power walking type thing, but I just don't. And I really ought to. I find that I haven't got much energy, and I feel like I really need to try and somehow get some more, but hey ho. At the moment I'm really concentrating on work. Well, I say work, you know, videos, it's my work now. I was saying to my sister this morning how nice it would be to earn enough money to be able to be financially independent. I've never ever been in that situation. It would just be so nice. And she didn't understand. She was going, oh well, you do so much in your house and blah, and I'm like, I know, but sometimes you just feel like, you know, I'd like to just go and be able to buy my husband a birthday present without being his money, or give my children some money without having to discuss it first with husband, you know, that sort of thing. Okay, we're getting somewhere. I hope you can see it looks a little bit goldy, but we've got this piece here. We could do this in silver so it looks different. I'm considering that. I think we will. I think that's going to work better. So I'm going to grab, whoops, another yellowy colour. This one, so I'll sharpen it first. I should have told you the name first. It is the Naples yellow. And I'm going to fill in some of the gaps. I'm going to go over it all though. I like going over it all because it gives it some more warmth. But yeah, I've never you know, I've always house shared where someone's shared the cost, or you know, or husband's paid most of everything. You know, I've never had enough income so that I could pay outright for things. And I know I don't need to, but it would just feel a bit more, I was used the word empowering. I was thinking about sort of feminism and things, and you know, I don't know, but it would be nice. But she was like, yeah, but you do so much and that's all worth money. And I'm like, I know, you know. She says if you went out to work you'd have to pay a cleaner and all that, you save money. And I'm like, yeah, it's still not the same, is it? So that's what I was thinking today. But there we go. Right, I'm happy with that gold. I am definitely going to do some silver here. And we'll do a mix of gold and silver, different shades of gold, things like that on the different ones. What am I going to use? Let's start with something quite dark, I think. And then, whoops, I'm not going to start with black. You can start with black on gold or silver if you wish. In fact, I'm wondering, I am going to do a bit of gold black on the gold. Hang on. Here's my black. And I'm just going to do it in these, around the edge of here. I think it's going to just make it look more shadowy, like it's more dipped in, even along the edge of here. That I think it will just define the different areas for us a little bit more. Don't press too hard. It's just trying to darken that line that Johanna's drawn for us. I was actually talking to my neighbour when I was out. I saw her jogging, and she does oil paints, and she was sort of saying, oh, you should do it, and blah. I'm not, you know me, I'm not really into painting. I'm using the Naples yellow because I have just found a little bit here that I think needs a bit there. I was saying I'd get too messy, but I was actually thinking about, I'm not going to use the black for the silver, I'm just going to start with the Payne's grey. It's really quite dark anyway. And I'm going to make it darker on these sides here. And she was saying, oh, you should have a go. But oil paint is the smell that I can't cope with. This sort of the Cold Grey 5. Is it turpentine or something they use? Ugh. It's really, really horrible. So I don't think I could cope with that. But also the mess. I mean, the good thing with oils is, of course, you can overpaint. So if it goes wrong, you can just paint over the top. This is Cold Grey 3. And they tend not to be, as far as I'm aware, I'm really not knowledgeable. They don't seem to be very transparent, so you can just cover it up if it all goes horribly wrong. You can't really do that with watercolour because you would reactivate what's underneath. You probably could if you're clever. There we go, so we've got a bit of a shine coming down here on the silver. And now we've got our giant gemstone and our little ones on the side. I'm going to do them all the same colour, not just one colour. I'm having to think, what colour? I'm liking the idea of a red, you know, maybe a pinky red. So I'm going to pick out a few different pinky reds. I'm going to start with the dark red. We might do some that are a little bit black, some facets in this, but I think I might start with this. And around the edge, really dark. Lots of layers. And then less layers towards the middle. You've got yourself a little circular polished gemstone. Do the same with this one. Keep it really simple by keeping them all the same colour. And I think it should look better as well. with regards to a piece of jewellery. I think the stones would probably all be the same colour. Now this one, I'm going to fade it towards the centre, so make it dark at each end and leave a shiny bit in the middle. I don't know what it's supposed to be. I mean, maybe it's supposed to be gold, but I just wanted a bit more colour in it. It's just, for me, I think it's a teardrop shaped gemstone, but because it's so thin, it's easier to put the shine in the middle than in there rather than that way. But there we go. Okay, so let's do some of these facets. I'm just randomly starting. I'm going to fade them a little bit towards the top because I feel this bit would be raised up compared to these bits. So this is like the edge and this is the top. So we're just going to sort of randomly pick some. Like this. I don't know, could make it symmetrical. So far it's all symmetrical. But this isn't symmetrical down here compared to there, so no. We could though, I think it'll work symmetrically, so I'll do that one. And this one. Because I'm using Polychromos, which I don't think I told you right at the beginning, very useful. They won't hurt if I put white pen on, they won't bleed into the pen, so that's one of the reasons I chose them. Several reasons. Another reason I chose them, I'm trying to find the madder. There it is, it's in the wrong place. So this is the madder, which is a reddy pink as well. Very hard for you to see. There we go. So again, just fading it upwards. Yeah, so the other reason I chose them is because they sharpen to a fine point, and some of these have very fiddly faddly bits. So I thought it would make sense to have one that I can just keep sharpening. And I've got spares of all my Polychromos, so almost all the shorter ones anyway, so I won't run out. There we go. I think I'm going to do that one as well. Now there are different ways to colour gemstones. There's no one right way. Is that the alizarin, or alizarin, I've heard the Americans say. I don't know the correct way. Crimson, alizarin. I don't know, maybe it's just my weird accent, my weird way of saying things. I'm going to fill in everything with this. Yeah, I tend to keep stocked up on Polychromos. They are my go-to pencil if I'm not sure what to use, or if I want to do metal. I'm confident with polys. I know what I would normally use. I am with Prismas actually. Now, we've just got one bit left. I am thinking I'm going to do this with a diagonal stripe. As I say, there are different ways to do it. You could colour it over really lightly all the way, but I'm going to like that, and it looks like the light shining off it. Quite a wide stretch of white. Make it a little bit smaller. Okay, and now we can use our white pen to just help us do a few finishing touches. I'm going to use the Gellyroll 8. And I'm going to start with these circular ones. There are some dots on here that Johanna's drawn on. I'm going to go over those, I think. But rather than doing dots, I'm actually going to do lines. I'm not going to do those bottom ones quite yet. Now here, it can be quite good to just try and take out some of these black lines. It just makes it look a little more shiny. You have to do all of them, just the sort of ones nearer the top where the light would be catching it a bit more. So I'm just going to do a few, if the pen wants to work. Hang on, let me just scribble it on my book. That's better. My book beside me where I write down what I've used so that I can type it up when I do my editing and stuff. It's often full of scribbles where I've done various bits of swatching. Let's have a look, see if that's enough. I quite like the fact that there are some darker bits because it makes them look like there's some shadow. So I think that's fine. Let's just do this bit. This one. There we go. There he is. I'm quite happy with him. So that is our first one. Not sure I would wear something quite as big as that. It's rather a big stone, isn't it? I think that's more of something you would expect a queen or princess to wear than just an ordinary person like me. But however, there we go. I can understand why Pika has it in her nest. Is Pika a boy or girl? I can't remember. It's boy. There we go. So anyway, we're done for today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and you'll get a notification when the next video comes out in the series. And if you are a member of my channel, you will have access to all of the series as a compilation video already. If you want to join so that you can get that access and support the channel, then there is right at the beginning of the description of the video there is a link so you can do that. And thank you to everyone that's joined and supports me in all the different ways that you do. It's very much appreciated. Hoping that you have a really super day. Thank you for watching.